Welcome to the copper amine synthesis and UV-Vis spectroscopic analysis video. In this experiment, the materials you will need are copper sulfate pentahydrate crystals, 6 25 milliliter volumetric flasks, concentrated aqueous ammonia, and of course your spectrophotometer that measures absorbance, and your cuvettes for the spectrophotometer sample. Before preparing our stock solution, we want to of course prime our pipette before use. By doing so, we wipe the outside dry and draw a small portion of our solution to be transferred into the pipette, and make sure to coat the entire inner surface with the solution and then discard. You may repeat this 2 to 3 times. Now we begin preparing our stock solution, which is our aqueous copper 2 tetraamine. This is done so by dissolving a small quantity of copper sulfate pentahydrate crystals into a small amount of water in a beaker, which should form our stock solution of approximately 0.02 molar copper 2 tetraamine. Once our stock solution has been created, we can now move over to the fume hood and slowly add concentrated aqueous ammonia until solution is clear and dark blue in color. We will now quantitatively transfer our new clear dark blue solution into a 25 milliliter volumetric flask using, of course, our primed pipette. Add an additional 10 drops of ammonia and then fill the flask to the mark with water. And if for any reason it becomes cloudy upon the addition of the water, add 10 additional drops of ammonia. Be careful and remember that your meniscus cannot be higher than the mark on the volumetric flask, or you will have to start over. Once this has been completed, transfer your stock solution into a small beaker from your volumetric flask, as they are not used for storage. From here we will begin our preparation of a series of solutions. We will create 3 dilutions from our stock solution. To prepare the first dilution, we quantitatively transfer a small portion of the stock solution into the 25 milliliter volumetric flask and slowly add water to the mark. We add 10 drops of aqueous ammonia if the solution ever becomes cloudy, just like in the previous exercise. Then transfer your solution to a separate clean dry beaker or a test tube so that the volumetric flask can be used to prepare additional solutions. The second dilution will be prepared the same exact way as the first. The only difference is that instead of using our stock solution, we will be using our first dilution to create the second one. The third dilution will then be created the same exact way as the second, only using the second dilution to prepare the third one this time. The volumetric flask does not need to be washed or dried in between solution transfer. Remember that you will be adding water to these solutions already. Once you've prepared your 3 diluted solutions and they've been inspected by your TA, it is time to measure the absorbance of the series of the copper 2 amine solutions. You will prepare a graph to establish the relationship between absorbance and concentration, which I have prepared for you below. Once your solutions have been prepared, recorded, and graphed, you may now prepare each solution into their proper cuvette, being cleaned each with a chem wipe so that they may be taken down to the spectrophotometer to record their light absorbance and on what wavelength. Once these measurements and wavelengths have been recorded, you may now answer your pre-lab questions and start to wind down. We can clean up our lab and workspace area, being careful not to knock over anything, and clean your glassware for the next group.